Hello, welcome to my special unlisted video for what mods is EnterElysium running in his latest playthrough. These mods, I'm all using the Nexus site for my mods, using the Vortex mod manager. I was going to call it the Nexus mod manager, but they replaced it with something terrible called the Vortex mod manager, and I'm using that to add them to Bannerlord. The mods I'm using, in no particular order, except for the fact it's the order listed in the manager, is Auto Blocker. Auto Blocker basically introduces the auto block back into the game. If you've played Warband, it allows you to just press the block key and you block in a direction. There are a few different styles of block. There's like a drag block, there's an automatic block in the correct direction, you have to click at the correct time, which is a bit like Warband. I basically went for the Warband version. I personally find that the blocking thing is a bit finicky anyway, so I kind of prefer the Warband style where you just click and it will block in the right direction, but you have to click at the right time. So, Auto Blocker, fantastic. They've already said they're introducing it to the game, so this is just a mod until they do so. It's that simple. It's not like you're going against the methodology of the game. They're doing it anyway, so whatever. Auto Trader. Auto Trader is really, really helpful to stop you having to, like, micromanage your trading. Auto Trader basically says, hey, here's a number of settings, and when we have spare gold that you define by a setting, we will buy stuff that you also somewhat define by a setting, and then we'll sell it when the price is good. Again, you define that by a setting. It's great, it's fantastic, it appears on the main screen and you can twiddle the options in-game. It's really useful if you don't have to worry about micromanaging all your purchasing options. And you don't have to use it. Like, you go into a settlement, there is a auto-trade option. You don't have to do it every time. Great mod. Anyway. Bannerlord tweaks. This is a mod that basically covers all the little tweaks in the game that you really need, and several of which, hey, the developers said they're gonna do anyway. Basically, it puts a thing on the main menu, if you're playing the most recent version, where you can go in and you can alter a whole load of options. You can increase renown gain, you can increase experience gain for troops, you can increase experience gain for the player, all of which the devs have said they're gonna do. You can do stuff like, hey, increase the number of companions per clan tier, increase the number of workshops you can own per clan tier. It adds a whole load of configurable options which are fantastic to the game. Just seriously, across the board, you can tweak it how you want. You don't even need to turn any of them on, in which case, why do you have the mod? But anyway, great mod. Totally required. It's the #1 mod for Bannerlord on Nexus right now. Totally get it. A developer console. Yeah, it enables the developer console in the game. That's it. That's all it does. If you need to, you know, try and fix a bug, or get out of something, or whatever, or if you want to just use it as a cheat menu, there you go. You got it. Done. That's it. I can't even talk about it anymore. Equip best item. Basically, if you've got a load of different stuff you've stolen from people you've murdered, and you're like, hey, what hat do I want to wear? You could try every hat, or if you're lazy, there will be like a little hotbar link? No, not a button. Clickable thing. There'll be a clickable thing that you can click to equip the best item. You don't have to use it, but it is there. So it kind of makes it a little bit easier when you're just going through your loot and you're like comparing them. You can just click the button. Useful. Totally useful. Not required, but hey, it's nice. Fast dialogue. This is required. Fast dialogue is the best mod. Basically, if you've ever been really annoyed by running up to bandits on the world map, having to go into a load screen, talking to the bandits face to face, going into another load screen before you can fight them, and going to another load screen to fight them, fast dialogue basically loads that dialogue, or at least the options that you'd get from that dialogue, to the world screen, instead of having to go into that 3D I'm facing a bandit who I don't care about view, who also probably has a face that looks like squished jello. It's fantastic. You go up to bandits, you click I'm attacking them, or if you want to, and actually want to talk to them face to face for some reason, you can click Converse. If you click Converse, you'll go through the normal options, you'll go in, you'll load a screen, you'll see them face to face, they'll look like squished jello, it'll load another screen, then you fight them, whatever. But you can go up to them and you can just click Attack. And then you fight them. Or you can click Simulate the Attack, in which case there's no load screen whatsoever. It means that late game, when you're like, hey, bandits are too easy for me to kill, I don't need to worry about them, but I still need to get rid of them because they're annoying people, or they're a mission, or they might threaten my village. You don't have to be like, oh, do I want to fight them? I'll go through several load scenes. You can just be like, hey, I'll fight them. It doesn't cost me any load scene if I simulate it, or if I want to go fight them face to face, it'll cost me 1 load screen rather than 3. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. It does the same with lords and stuff as well. So you can go up to a lord and fight them without having to go through the load screen of, yes, I want to fight you. Let's go through the dialogue options. Yes, of course I want to fight you. We're at war. Fantastic mod. Just brilliant. I won't play without it now. That's it. It's done. Gay marriage, because why not? Oh, we missed fixed troop stats. So there's a couple of options here. You can use unit fixes, which is the other mod. You'll see at the top of the list there, disabled. They basically do similar things. They are kind of different sides of the same coin. Both of them basically go through the units in the game and basically say, hey, this unit is way too strong. Let's bring it back in line. This one's too weak. And in a lot of cases, hey, this unit has skill in throwing weapons and doesn't have a throwing weapon, but does have a bow and doesn't have skill in bow. Let's fix that. That happens in quite a lot of cases in the game. Like, I think it's like a Batarian archer has skill in two-handed sword. It doesn't have a two-handed sword. It has a one-handed weapon. So the game basically, this just fixes a lot of stuff. I'm sure these are things that the developers will be tweaking as they go through the game, but this basically makes it back in line for now. Configurable smithy stamina and part research. A lot of the options in there are covered by Bannerlord tweaks. You can change, hey, I would like to regain stamina on the world map. I would like more stamina. I would like to have less stamina taken every time I craft something. So what I'm using this for in particular is the fact that you can increase the rate of research drops. That's it. That's fantastic. I personally would like to research things a little bit faster in terms of, hey, I got a new hilt or something, because there are so many weapons in the game. Sure, you might unlock them relatively regularly, but there are so many different types of weapon that, hey, I've spent, you know, the last 10, 15 times I've crafted a weapon or whatever, learning about maces or swords, and I use a polearm. I'm not getting anything useful. So increasing the rate of drops is useful. That's what I'm using it for. You can use it for the other stuff like stamina and so on, but honestly, Bannerlord Tweaks does that. Intro remover, really simple mod. Skips the intro. I know the intro is now skippable, but it just saves me having to skip it. All it does is it replaces the intro with a really, really short, like 1 frame long, white video. So it basically goes, load, close, bye. Great. I don't have to skip it. Saves me some hassle. Was more important when the video at the beginning was unskippable, because that was annoying, especially when you're trialing mods. Crossbow and item price fixer with mounted range tweaks. 2 things in this. Firstly, it makes items, high tier arms especially, but also crossbows and bows, make sense price-wise. The recent update, they doubled the price again for no reason. They doubled the price of bows as well. Like, crossbows at 44 grand? What? Anyway, this basically makes them sensible prices. It's fantastic. And secondly, it also comes with mounted range tweak. The 2 perks you can get for bows and crossbows that allow you to use them on horseback don't. A lot of the perks are broken in the game currently, or unfinished, whatever. It's in development. But this basically says, hey, you know, these perks are broken. Why don't we just make all bows usable on horseback and crossbows as well? It's a good fix. What you can do is you can just deliberately not use a bow until you get that perk, and then you can use whatever bow you want. Or however you choose to play it. Or if you just want to be like, hey, I started the game, I want to use a really powerful bow on crossback, or horseback, whatever, do it. Also, at the moment you can't use any crossbow on horseback, but the perk says, hey, using this perk, you can now use any crossbow on horseback, just like it does for bows. And if it's anything like Warband, that probably means you're meant to be able to use crossbows on horseback, just very, very light ones and not the heavy ones. And that's historically true. There were crossbows you could use from horseback, they just need a lighter draw. It just makes sense. You should be able to use a crossbow on horseback, but it should be a lighter one until you get the perk. Whatever. This mod basically says, hey, let's forget about all of that. Great. Fantastic. Honestly, for me right now, it's a must-have. I like using bows on horseback. Item name generator. If you have ever got into smithing, which, you know, why would you in the base game without mods, but whatever. You can use this mod to generate a cool item name. So if you're like, what do I call this sword? You'll just have like a little dice, which you can click to randomize, and it will randomize the name for you, and that's fantastic. That's it. It just randomizes the name for your weapons, so you don't have to sit there going,
this is Alexander's first weapon. He's really proud of it. That's its name. All that. Yeah.
No, you just be like, this is Mind Flayer, Wind Warper, Flesh Scourer, or something. Anyway, it'll come up with cool metal names that, you know, make you think you're in a metal band or something. Anyway, it's good. What else have we got? Color correction mod. Basically ups the saturation and contrast a little bit, makes it a lot less washed out. I'm dubious about this for YouTube, because it might make the dark scenes too dark. But I'm interested. We'll see. I like the little bit more saturation in it. Especially because YouTube tends to be a bit about low saturation scenes. No Dragon Banner timeout. There is a mission in the game, in the main quest, which you need to do for reasons, which can time out after 10 years and then stop you from doing a thing. This basically stops it timing out. Yes, it's necessary. It's really dumb. The main mission is dumb. I wish you could get rid of the main mission. I just really wish you could get rid of it. But, two things. Firstly, there is a mod for that called Free Play. Secondly, I haven't managed to get to work, and more importantly, it is buggy-ish. It's a pretty big change to the game, and I don't want to introduce a game mod that could be buggy enough to ruin a playthrough for YouTube. Offline, maybe. Anyway, you can see it on my list up there. It's just disabled. What have we got next? Fixed troop stats. Optional Forest Bandit stat prune. Okay, so this basically is a optional module. Hey, Forest Bandits are OP. Do you want to drop them down to be sensible? Yes, you do. Forest Bandits are currently tier 4, which, sure, okay, whatever, who have up to 50% greater stats than other tier 4s. There's a reason they are scary and murder you with arrow lasers. This basically says, hey, let's make them like other tier 4s. Yes, it's a need. Get it. Fate mod show recruits tooltip. If you keep going to villages and being like, are there recruits here? Go in, talk to the guy. No, there are no recruits. Go out, leave the village, go to another village, talk to the guy. Hey, you got troops? No, okay. This basically says, hey, on mouse over, you can see how many troops are available. It'll also tell you how many troops are available if you had better relations. That's nice. It's great. You just mouse over a village and be like, nah, I shouldn't go there. Should go there. Great, we'll go to this one. Yes. Yes. Recruit all button. Instead of going into a village, going to the recruit, clicking the all, going yes, going out of the village, this basically adds a button, so you go to the village, you click recruit all, you leave. That's all it does. It just recruits all. Great for getting back from a army wipe or from a major battle. You can just go in, recruit all the people, leave. Done. Don't have to go through a few extra clicks. Fantastic. Simple. Great. Recruitable. Recruitable is one that I often have to remember what it does just because the name isn't as evocative. Recruitable basically says, hey, you know all those prisoners you have who won't join you? There's a reason for that. I mean, there's two reasons, actually. One of which is how the game handles stacks of troops, which is poor. It treats them as a stack instead of as number of individual troops. This is partly why when you get experience, you get, hey, 5 experience between all your recruits. Not for each recruit, for all of them. Divided. But it does also the same for your prisoners. It goes through your prisoners and says, hey, does this stack want to join me? If yes, one person, not does everyone. Anyway, that's getting beside the point. What this does is it says, hey, you know those tier 5 and 6s who won't join you? That's because the game is bugged. Currently, what it does in the game is it checks against an array, and the array is 4 numbers long. It's got 4 numbers in it, and it says, hey, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. Huh, there aren't any numbers in this array for tier 5 and 6. I guess they're 0, you can't recruit them. This basically fixes that and assigns numbers to the array to make it possible to recruit people. It also slightly increases the rate at which you recruit, I think, vaguely. Fantastic, yes, it's a fix. It's a fix mod. It also increases the rate of recruitment ever so slightly, which I think the devs want to do anyway, so it's just fixing what is already there. Get it. Rulership allows you to go to your companion and be like, hey, do you want to stop being my companion and instead be my vassal when I own a kingdom? Yes, fantastic, should be in core, don't know why it isn't. Yes, get it, fantastic, great. It currently charges you 50 grand or something, but by that point in the game, money is kind of, anyway. Yes, that's it, just yes. Sound the alarm. I haven't actually tested this mod. I know it works loading the game up, but I haven't actually seen it in progress yet. But what I'm thinking is, yes, it's necessary. What it does is, hey, someone attacking my village, I find out immediately and get to go and respond to it. I think that's just useful. It's cool, it helps you defend your land, it gives you a reason to be like, ooh, rather than just, I have land, now I ignore it because I don't know if it's going to be burning. I think this was in one of the Warband mods, or maybe it was Warband Core. I think it was a Warband mod. Yeah, I think it's great. It gives you some, extra thought about your place. You have to defend it. Maybe you choose to stay close because you want to defend it. Maybe you're on a defensive war and you're like, yeah, I definitely should stay near to my land. Whereas in Core, you're like, I have land now. I ignore it because I don't know when it's burning. Yes, sound the alarm is necessary. Now, we've mentioned unit fixes and free play there at the top. There's also Crusade unit fixes and no horse requirement. All faction starting horses units no longer require horses and war horses upgrade, which you see there is uninstalled. There's a reason for that. It's currently broken, and it was I consider necessary mod, and this is for a couple of reasons. So in the game at the moment, if you want to upgrade a unit to be cavalry, you need to buy them a horse, and then you need to buy them a war horse when they upgrade further. Two things. Firstly, why do you need to buy them a horse? You don't need to buy them armor or weapons. They just spawn those in. Why do I need to buy your horse? This seems dumb. Secondly, okay, so when you upgrade from a horse to a war horse, do I get the horse back? No. Okay, if you die, do I get the horse back? No. This is dumb. Hey, you know the Khuzaits, the people who pretty much are exclusively cavalry? Do they get... No. They still need to pay for horses? Yeah, okay. So you will have, until you get super rich, a third army. Yeah. Now, that was not the worst until a recent patch where they nerfed the drop rates of horses from fights. They dropped it by 65%. Now it's just a game of horse trading because you need to buy so many horses. It's dumb. I think it's a really dumb feature. I hate this feature so much because it doesn't make sense. You spawn in your weapons. You spawn in your... Why did you spawn in a horse? Anyway. So, what that mod used to do is it used to fix Khuzait stats, which were broken, which have been fixed now in core. And anyway, I have a unit fix mod for that anyway. But it also... This version of it in particular didn't actually do anything with the Khuzait units. What it did was it went through all the units in the game and said, you no longer need horses or war horses to upgrade. Yes, brilliant, great. However, it's broken. It actually breaks Vortex Mod Manager and then breaks the game when you try and load the game if you actually manage to install it. So what I've done is I've personally gone through the files and implemented the fix. So I don't have that mod installed. I've personally implemented the fix. If you want to do so, you can. I'm not going to give you full details because if you're going to be editing game files, you need a modicum of knowing how to do this yourself. But there is a file, it's called something like SPNP blah 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 units or whatever. You'll find it in your game files, .xml. And you go in there, you'll see several lines in places called upgrade requirement, I think something like that, and it'll be horses whatever, or war horses. Basically, if you get rid of all of those lines, just get rid of the upgrade requirement line for each unit, or just, control replace with nothing, that fixes it. Now, of course, technically, that gets overridden by my unit fix mod, or fix unit mod, or whatever it's called. So I had to go into that mod and then remove all the unit upgrade lines as well. But that does get rid of unit upgrade costs. Now, the downside, of course, is if the game updates, or if that mod updates, it'll do it again, but it's not exactly a hard fix. I really would wish there was a mod that did it, specifically a mod that was compatible with my unit fix mod, because otherwise they will overwrite each other. Whatever. But it's not a hard fix. The only thing that's not on that list that I want, that the devs have said they want to do as well, and they're going to balance in future, is an increased healing rate. Because currently it seems a bit dumb to be wandering around the map after a big battle for like a week or so going, I'm healing. Like, it makes sense if you're playing a realistic game, but hey, this isn't a super realistic game, and also it's not fun gameplay-wise. Just gonna sit here healing. I mean, also, your healing stat doesn't really have much of an effect in-game. Most of your stats don't really have much of an effect in-game. It's like, hey, I've got really good polearm skill. I get 8% damage. Woo. Yeah. But whatever. Anyway, that's beside the point. The only thing that's not on this list that I could possibly wish for in terms of a tweak mod would be healing rate. I'm happy with this mod list. I really like it. I think it's a very good mod list. You'll notice that this is mostly bug fixes and tweaks. I deliberately haven't gone for any of the more elaborate mods, introduce new units, or introduce female units, or female variations on units, which I would love to, but a few reasons. Firstly, the game's updating so fast, and those mods are either being replaced, forgotten about, or updated so fast that trying to keep up and trying to make sure they're compatible and don't break saves is going to be annoying. And secondly, it's possible the devs might do something that renders a save with that mod invalid. So I don't want that to happen with a YouTube playthrough. I've mostly picked ones that are reliable enough that I can either take them from a save or put them into a save, or hopefully will be updated continually. I think I could pretty much take most of these mods away and the save wouldn't break, so we should be fine. Yeah. Anyway, that's my mod rundown. I know it's a 20-minute long video. It's now over 20 minutes long, but I kind of wanted to give an explanation of each mod. If you wanted to just look at the mod list, you could have done it on screen this entire video. I don't know why you've got this far in the video. Hi, I'm EnterElysium. I mean, I guess you can like and subscribe and whatever, but if you've got this far, I hope you have already. I mean, I guess you didn't need to like. This is an unlisted video. I guess, does that affect the channel if you like? Or comment? I guess you could comment on this. My plan is that as we go on, I'll be tweaking the mod list, I'll be updating some things here and there, and we'll talk about it in-game. This video is just this is the base mods going in. So, there you go. Use your common sense when going to these mods. Some of them might be outdated by the time you see this video. If you're watching this in 2021, they probably have been all outdated. I hope not. Bannerlord 6 is pretty cool. Anyway. Yeah, that's it. Stay shiny.